All right, ready to dive into something hilarious. We're tackling Scary Movie.
Oh, Scary Movie.
And yeah, I hear you. Before you're like, really? That's deep dive material, trust me.
It's got layers.
It does. We're not just deciding if it's funny, but why those jokes land or don't. What makes this more than just gags?
That's the key, right? And you nailed it, Parody. This movie is a love letter to horror, but twisted. You've got the teens, the hit and run that comes back to bite them, literally sometimes, and the killer. All about that cat and mouse game. Like someone took Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Hit them with a blender.
Puree.
But they didn't stop at the ingredients, right? The physical comedy, it's almost painful. Like, did anyone else wince at those falls?
It's almost superhuman, how they move.
How do you move like that in real life?
But that's what's so smart about it. Horror's all about tension, yeah. This movie, nope. Exaggerated movements, suddenly you're not scared, you're laughing.
Swap the jump scare for the trip, stumble, faceplant scare. And then, when you think it can't get more out there, well, let's just say Scary Movie. Not afraid of a little, or a lot of, bodily fluids.
And that's where the social commentary sneaks in. It's more than just being shocking. It's using that shock, that pushing the limits, to actually pick apart the horror genre itself.
Okay, now you're losing me a bit.
Yeah.
How does a movie that's basically a highlight reel of, well, that, also make a statement about horror?
Think of it this way. Those over-the-top moments, the ones that make you go, come on. They're pointing out how silly horror tropes can be, like characters making dumb choices. You know, when you're yelling at the screen.
Oh, 100%. I've had arguments with horror movie characters. Don't go in there. Why are you splitting up?
Exactly. Scary Movie takes those tropes we roll our eyes at, and dials them up to 11. Like, the filmmakers are in on it with us, laughing at how predictable it can be, and they're just getting started. That final girl thing also gets a makeover, but makes you think a little. Cindy, our hero.
Please, Ripley, she is not.
Nope. She makes it, yeah, but mostly because the killer trips over his own 2 feet more than he catches anyone.
Right. It's not cleverness. It's just dumb luck.
Exactly. So what is a final girl supposed to be then? Are we cheering because she's tough or laughing because it's so ridiculous she's alive? Makes you wonder, huh?
Deep stuff for a movie with, shall we say, prominent bodily functions.
But that's what's so good, that jarring contrast. It's the in-your-face stuff that lets them sneak in the deeper points without being all serious. But there's another layer, too. The meta-humor.
Oh, the best. When they're winking at the audience like, we got you, horror fans. We know the rules, the cliches, the whole thing. That Drew Barrymore Scream scene. But their own spin on it.
Perfect example. Because it's not just horror in general. It's specific moments, films that were already messing with the genre themselves.
So it's like parody of a parody, layers on layers.
Exactly. Horror was getting self-aware, they're just taking it to the max, and by doing that, it's about how we even watch horror.
Wild thing is, it worked. Scary Movie wasn't just for a few people, it was a huge hit. Not every parody pulls that off.
Shows they tapped into something audiences were already feeling.
Yeah.
Late 90s, early 2000s. Teen horror was everywhere.
Huge. Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Urban legend. Every week, new slasher flick. People were terrified, but also obsessed.
Right. So Scary Movie hits at the perfect time. Audience is ready to laugh at these movies they're also loving.
It's like when you're holding in a laugh for so long, then someone breaks and you lose it. That's what this was, for horror fans.
Plus, the nostalgia. If you grew up on those slashers, Scary Movie is a funhouse mirror reflecting them back.
Comfort food, but with, well, you know.
Exactly. But honestly, sometimes you just want to turn off, have a dumb laugh. That's Scary Movie to a T.
And isn't that the best sometimes? Just a big old dumb laugh, no need to overthink it.
The best. But it does make you think, Scary Movie. You gotta wonder, does knowing the originals actually make it funnier? Or can you be clueless about the movies and still have a good time?
It's that age-old question, right? Like books versus movies. If you love the book, does it ruin the movie? Or make you appreciate it more? Or just nitpick everything?
Totally. In this case, though, I think Scary Movie kind of works both ways. Die-hard horror fan, you'll get all those little nods, the scene recreations. It's like an inside joke for the whole theater. But even if you don't know slashers that well, it's still just plain silly. Those characters, the slapstick, that's funny no matter what.
Shows you how clever the filmmakers were, right?
Yeah.
Appealing to the hardcore and the people just there for a good time.
For sure. Scary Movie reminds us, horror's supposed to be scary, yeah. But there's always room to laugh at it, too.
Like they say, best way to get over being scared is to laugh. Or, in this case, laugh at someone getting smacked with something way too big for real life.
Exactly. This has been a blast breaking down the parody, the smarts, And yeah, the bodily fluids of Scary Movie.
Couldn't have asked for a better deep dive. And for you listeners, if you're feeling brave or just need that laugh we talked about, go revisit Scary Movie. You might be surprised what you notice now, how it makes fun of horror, but also how we react to it. Until next time, happy watching.